Yeah.
Like, it was unsafe for them, and I was so scared.
Extremely annoying.
My mom's here.
We hit Amish country. The worst way to drive an RV.
Good morning. It's a travel day. Travel days are sometimes interesting. We're hoping that today is not interesting. We're hoping it is. That's all I'm gonna say because I can't say anymore. OCD. It's hell.
Hi, I'm Kim, a weird traveling mom with OCD, and I'm with husband.
Hello.
That's good. So it's a travel day video, and we're filming this afterward because we needed to compose ourselves. So we're now in Janes Island State Park. We're camping. We're here. But it got a little dramatic, so we're gonna talk about it and then show you the footage I have. We're just gonna splice everything together so that you understand the day that we had. So we're traveling from Watkins Glen, New York to Janes Island State Park, Maryland. Usually I don't tell you where we go until the very end, but you got it.
But there it is.
Now. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of the interesting...
I mentioned this in my super quick review of Watkins Glen State Park Campground, that some of these sites are kind of funky to back into, and we didn't have any issue backing into our site because we went the wrong way on the one way for the loop. We're at the end of the loop, so that was fine, but for getting out purposes, we kind of don't want to do that because we'd have to go the entire loop and it's like half a mile long. We're gonna try to pull out the regular way, but this little tree here has some branches coming out over that would scrape us and we might break them, and so we don't want to do that. So husband has strapped the tree to the other tree to pull it back a little bit so that hopefully we're able to get out of the site without any issues. We have dumped. I have emptied our recycling. It's time to roll daddy-o.
As we were leaving, we had the GPS, we had selected a route to get us to Janes Island.
We set the GPS to go through Dover.
Yeah, and that was advertised as the, not necessarily the fastest, but the fuel efficient way. It was 20 miles shorter, and it said 7% more fuel efficient than any other way. And
which is a big deal when you are a 35-foot long vessel.
Assuming that it's not a crazy route.
We're gonna pull over really fast because we have to pee. But there's deer up there. There are no rest areas for like another hour and 40 minutes, and it was like...
Look at that now. We pulled over on the shoulder.
Always! Every time we pull over, right after we get going again, we find the perfect place to pull over. No matter what.
It's like a huge...
We could have stopped there. How do you know until you get there, and then, but you don't know what the future holds anyway.
So the trip was 400 miles, and I think Lancaster was about halfway maybe or so.
Yeah.
We stopped there to pick up the tank.
We are pausing in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so that we can pick up our external drain tank. There's a name for it. We found a used tank for much cheaper online on eBay, and it was local pickup only, and it happened to be en route. So we messaged the guy, we bought it, and we're meeting him here. This is very exciting for us.
As soon as we left that parking lot in Lancaster,
Google Maps dumped on us.
We found a faster route, and I did not accept it, but it automatically accepted it.
Because if you don't tap the thing, it just does it for you.
We end up going through downtown Lancaster and
barely had clearance, I feel like.
I mean, that when I say downtown, it's like downtown proper. A car parked on both sides, then 2 lanes, and if you had 2 of these RVs next to each other with the cars
would
parked,
not have made it.
they would not fit.
The whole time because we also use semi-truck driver GPS, and that one is kind of, so Google Maps likes to take you the weird Google way, which those roads sometimes we have no business being on. Like, we don't get clearance, they're too windy, narrow, like weight limits and things, we get in trouble. But the trucker app is takes it too far the wrong way, that we end up going like 200 miles extra. I'm holding both GPSs trying to just get us not where we are, anywhere but where we are.
You had it rerouted. The problem is that now we were way far off the freeway that we were, or the highway that we were supposed to be on.
County
trying to
roads
get us back on that highway via these county roads, 2-lane country roads.
But it gets worse.
They weren't like super windy or steep or anything.
Until you add an Amish buggy.
On both sides, going in each direction. They do take the entire shoulder and they're almost in the lane. And the
With
speed,
a horse.
Yeah, the speed limit was 55.
55 miles an hour.
Right.
I grew up having horses. I would not ride my horse on that road because like just the wind you create alone.
Oh yeah, blow the wagon off
and
the
so
road.
we felt awful. And frankly, 55 miles an hour, that should not be the speed limit on that road, because I don't know how they're safe driving those buggies on that road. And they have to. Like, where else are they? You know?
Right.
So
and
that is not right.
half of the time I couldn't move over in the other lane because there was oncoming traffic, including semis.
Can you imagine?
So then it got even worse. We turned into
Just when you think it gets
we
worse.
turned into this other country road, and this one now didn't have any shoulder. 1 lane in each direction, and you can actually see the marks from the tracks of the wagon.
Yeah, you can see like their little tracks in the road.
On the road.
And turds.
Hills up and down where you can't really see what's beyond the hill. The speed limit again was 55 miles an hour, and on that road I did not dare to go more than 40, and there was like probably 7 or 8 cars behind me.
It was like a parade. I was so scared for them. Like, we weren't gonna get hurt. I really felt like we were making that we were putting, you know, the Amish in an unsafe.
Yeah.
Like, it was unsafe for them, and I felt
Well,
I was so scared.
Well, and
we were
I don't
somebody.
understand why that road had to have a 55 mile an hour speed
Why
limit
do you need to
when
go? Why?
just a little bit scary. We've had worse.
We apologize to any Amish people or buggy drivers if we made your day terrible.
Yeah. After all this, we got on Highway 13.
Oh, and then Highway 13 happened. At this point, we were really excited because we're on like a main road, lots of lanes, no buggy signs.
Yep.
Just woohoo! Hello, Delaware.
Yeah, 80 miles to go, and you think, oh, 80 miles, no problem. So an hour and a half, and you're there. That Highway 13 turned out to have a traffic light every
mile.
1 or 2 miles. If you were lucky, it was 2 miles. The speed limit was 55, and most of the time I would stop at a light, and by the time I get up to 55, I would have to stop at another light. So most of the time I didn't even bother to get up to 55. There was no point in wasting all that fuel jumping on the brakes.
We hit almost every single light. We hit most of them.
I'd say half of them.
I think we hit way more than half.
Extremely annoying.
Annoying isn't a big enough word for it. The worst way to drive an RV.
If you're going 55 miles an hour in, 20-something thousand pound vehicle, and
A yellow light is not long enough to stop.
you'd have to be pretty far away and get the yellow to be able to safely stop. This is where I got extremely frustrated, and like there was way too many swear words. Oh, the route by Google Maps was advertised as the fewest stops with the least number of hills, and I agree. There
Okay,
were
the
almost
hills.
no hills, but man, the stops.
And how is that fuel efficient? Like, how?
It's not. Yeah. At one point, I was like, we need to look for an alternative route.
The whole time, that's what I was doing until about the last half an hour of the drive, and then we finally gave up because I couldn't stop crying. I was just looking, and after the freak out and the anxiety of the whole like not trying to hit a horse and buggy, and then stopping and there's yelling and words coming, you know, and it was just like, and was so desperate. I'm zooming, I'm searching, and I couldn't get us off of it, and you know, vision blurred from the tears. We had to just commit to hating everything.
Well, and the problem was we needed to arrive in
Yes,
James Island.
we do not like sitting up in the dark. It sucks. My mom was meeting us here, so we needed to get here before her because the site is in our name and everything. And the site closes or the campground has a gate that comes down at 9 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock, as a new camper, you can't register if you arrive after 10 p.m.
Basically
That's
tell
it.
you, we're sorry, but
Find
you
alternate
need
accommodations.
to find alternate accommodations.
And we'll see you in the morning.
And I think we probably made it 8:15.
We did pretty good. Oh, at such a great mental cost.
We have made it here. We just filled up water because this place doesn't have any water hookups. And now we're gonna move to our site. We're hooked up with electrical, no water, no sewer. We know we can do that. Also want to say that we've been here for like 15 minutes and I've already got 5 bug bites. They love me. I'm like their queen. Hey look, my mom's here.
Oh my goodness.
These two, partners in crime. That's
I'm a
Ruby's.
happy G-Mom,
That's Ruby's favorite person in the world.
and she's mine.
Oh. Look, my mom read the reviews about there being a lot of bugs at this campground, so she brought me a present. Remember how 10 seconds ago I was literally complaining that I already had like 5 bug bites? My face will be protected. Protect the moneymaker.
We made it.
We made
And
it.
we're here in Janes Island State Park for a couple weeks.
Yep.
Onward to better times is the moral of the story.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to go. He has to go to work.
Okay.
So we made it and we're here and everything's fine, but it just really sucked. If you want to see a video of the last place we were and living without any water for a whole week, you can click or tap right up here. And for just more of my face, you can click or tap right down here. Thank you so much for being here. Now go be weird.